Hello and welcome to Still Uncaptured with me, Kgomotso Matsunyane.
And myself, Ndumiso Ngcobo, lasemaqadini.
Remember, you get us on Spotify and YouTube, and my social media handle is @Motso Matsu on Twitter, on Instagram, and TikTok.
And me, you can find me on Twitter, at Ndumiso Ngcobo with nothing else. And of course, on Facebook, I am Ndumiso Ngcobo.
Must we suffer
Do you want me
every single show?
Do you want me to
I'll do
repeat it? Those are my people. They're great. They're great people.
The Cordies.
Yeah, the Qadis.
Yeah, and what is the show about, Ndumiso? So we are a bit irreverent, a bit left field, not your typical black, and we like ideas that people have not thought about.
You know, the thing about uncaptured is exactly what that means. Still uncaptured. We are not beholden necessarily to ideology. We change our minds very often, and we're very unafraid to actually say what we want. And we know, we read your comments on TikTok, and some of you really, we get under some people's skin. But the thing about it, it's not one of those things where we're trying to do like a Howard Stern, like to be a shock jock or whatever. We say things because
Come on, just say the local one, McG.
Oh, there's too much going on there. I don't want to come across as a hater.
So what are you grateful for today?
You know, yesterday I was just having a chat with my daughter, and she started talking about someone that I haven't seen in, good Lord, I mean, easily 20 odd years, over a quarter of a century. I haven't seen this person. But when I started working, Kgomotso, this person, when I started working specifically as a high school teacher, she had also just started, qualified as a teacher with a degree in teaching and so on. So this was someone that we, at some point, me and my live-in partner at the time, and her and her then boyfriend, we all lived together, and I heard some really sad news, about her and her state. And I'm not going to go too much into it, but I'm really just grateful for the fact that for all the things that go wrong in my life, there is a certain constancy, not consistency. There's a certain constancy about my life. I've got a house. I am still married to the same woman that I got married to 21 years ago. My children are all okay.
Right.
I have always had a car. I have 3 square meals. My life has not had some of the up and downs.
The disruption.
I have seen, because this person is someone who really should be living an absolutely comfortable life, but not.
But we have this conversation
I'm
often.
very grateful.
Privately amongst ourselves about how many of our peers are struggling. I'm struggling. I don't want to just talk about my peers. I wanted to start the hashtag saying I'm Nandinyembe.
Yes.
Do you understand? Of like, everybody is always coming with the platitudes after the fact. We could have done this, we could have done that. And there's a string of black women my age, incredibly qualified, award winners, internationally recognized, who are sitting around at home with very, very little to do. No sets are hiring black women over 50. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Sets are not interested in women, or black women in particular, over 50. What women are fine. 8 white women are always okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But black women, I just find that more and more of us, because I found out a friend of mine lost her home.
Yes.
So what you say resonates with me, because I was shocked. I'm like, I've almost been there. I might be there soon, but things are just bad enough that your income is not enough that you can even afford a roof over your head.
And your gratitude on your behalf, that I have to lay on you, whether you want it or not. But you still have things like assets that are worth 7 figures that you can still play around with. You can still sell buildings. You can still own a great property, you know,
Yeah.
in the city of
Without
Cape
a
Town. Do you know
doubt.
what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Without a doubt. So, people are struggling.
People are really, really struggling.
And people that you wouldn't imagine necessarily are struggling. So everybody's got their own stuff, because I find that even people who are employed are going through the most.
Yeah.
Their situations at work are not great. The white people are white peopling.
Yeah.
Corporate is corporating. And people are frustrated because they're unhappy, but they cannot afford not to have the lifestyle that they have. And so they keep up appearances at work, because what are you going to do? You keep your head down.
Yes.
So, but today, what I'm really grateful for, in spite of all that I've just said, is that in spite of the difficulties that I've had that have led to me being a returned soldier and having to live with my mother again, is that I get to live with my mother. There's a beautiful gift in that. She is 83 years old. First of all, she's still alive. A lot of our peers don't have parents, one or both.
Tell you what, that's a big thing. It's a big thing. It's something that I am so cognizant of, that I'm aware of, about the fact that I have a mother who just turned 81. I still can pick up the call and say the words, "Hello, Mama. Kunjani, Mama?"
Yes, and she responds, and you can still laugh with her and joke with her. I don't take it for granted, Hore. I get Shiwana.
And she still has got all her faculties. That's a very important thing.
It's the most important thing. Yes. You know, there are other struggles. It doesn't mean we don't fight and get frustrated with each other, but we're taking care of each other, and for that, I'm grateful.
All right.
Alrighty.
What are we talking about today?
A few weeks ago, when we started this podcast with you, we were both heavyweights in the sense that we felt fat. I still feel fat, but less fat than when we started, because we started a little competition, right? Or a little challenge. Let's not say competition.
It's a challenge.
A challenge for both ourselves to say, we haven't exercised properly in the last 5 years. We are grossly out of shape. Our bellies are bigger than our length. Right, because that's what a BMI determines.
Because whenever in the last couple of months, I have looked at myself sideways without any clothes in a full-length mirror, I have taken on what we call the South African shape of the men, the S shape.
So that's the shape I am in also, by the way.
But here's the thing with me. For instance, my wife, Tebogo, is starting to say to me, "Dude, slow down. You are 53. That's how much I am into it. 2 weekends in a row now, we have done a total of about 15 Ks of hiking.
Nice.
And in between, I do, during the week, at least 20 kilometers of walking.
Amazing.
Including this morning.
Right.
And not so much Monday, but yesterday morning.
Yep.
And over the weekend, and so on and so forth. So I am feeling...
You're physically out. And how do you feel afterwards? Because let me tell you, I first started with just the food because, food is a problem. And I know exactly what my Achilles heels are. Like, starch, carbohydrates. Oh, my goodness. Give me white bread. Give me butter. Wait, so. Oh, just so. Oh, Bren. Like, that's my comfort food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like real starchy food. So I started by cutting down on that. And then without even exercising, I could feel my jeans getting a little looser. And then 2 weeks ago, I thought, Kgomotso, it's time for you to get up. I put on my techies, I put on my workout clothes, and I went to the park that's around the Spread View. And I did my exercises, I did my wall Pilates, and I tried a little run around, they've got a soccer field.
Yeah. And?
I could only do 2. Two. Me who used to run 22 Ks, okay?
Yeah.
21 Ks, two of those. But yesterday, I managed to do a whole soccer field. And that's how I get into my running. Walking. First of all, walking. Try to get in that 10,000. I didn't count my steps. Do that however many steps you can put in. First of all, it was being outside. There's a... And then meeting, my Kilwane, Dumelang, because there's a bunch of healthy people around Spreadview who can see Uguti. They do this every morning. And Nyabonana, and you start to get to know each other. Nyabulisana, Ninjani is corner.
shout out, man, I have to say this. I've got to do this. Shout out to women between the ages of 25 and 50 of Joburg, black women in particular. Every single time I am out there, black women are making me so proud.
Right.
Like, as in, we've done for the past 2 weeks, Kleppervierberg,
Right.
the nature reserve.
Right.
I'd say 80% of the people that I see walking there
A black woman.
are just black women.
Yeah.
And I remember after one of those hikes, Tebogo and I decided, no, let's just go and have lunch in a place that we normally don't go. Well, brunch really, because we did wake up a bit late. But so around 9:10, we decided to go for around Linden, of all places. And there was some marathon happening, some my way. I mean, the
Right.
streets were pink.
Or was it the pink one?
The pink,
Do you
like-
know the FOMO
Oh my God.
I had
Yes.
just watching TikTok?
Yes.
And I thought to myself, next year, Ndimlo, I'm going to be that
No.
girl.
Whoever it is that I was seeing on the streets of Linden, I was blown away. And I promise you, 90% of the people that I saw that were doing that were black women. I promise you, between the ages of sort of 25 and 50, just going around and walking. I thought, this is great.
I used to have this habit of,
Yes.
I used to even have, the Nedbank has a book of races
Yeah.
for the year. And it tells you all the races, the 10Ks, 15Ks, whatever, you know? And you get to pick which ones to go. And then Saturday morning, I would wake up 3, 4 in the morning, go to do the race and come back. That's when I was at my healthiest.
Yeah.
And I'm wanting to get to that running phase. And you talked now about this My Way thing. And I'm wanting to encourage whatever sponsors of these 10K runs or runners or clubs of people. And I don't care if it's black women or men, like Sonke. Let's do it together. Bring your children if you can. Let's start with these 10 kilometers over the weekends and record ourselves. Send us your check-in with each other just to be healthier. Because when I came back, the energy that I had before, I would sleep through it or try to sleep through it, right? Pretend as if I'm sleeping through it and not even wake up, open up the curtains.
Yeah.
Now the curtains are open, the windows are open. I'm feeling incredible. And it just makes me want to wake up again tomorrow and do it.
You know, and one of the things about the healthy lifestyle, and you will speak for yourself, part of it as well, I am so blessed to have a partner, a life partner, who has always insisted on a very balanced diet in the house.
Right.
Even though I do, I'd say 90% of the cooking in my house, it is to her specifications, in the sense that if there is a plate and it doesn't have any green, it doesn't have any orange, it doesn't have any yellow, it doesn't have any white, cabbage, anything, cauliflower, then there's a problem. She will just keep quiet, just go to the freezer and take out, put it in the microwave, because like this, the eating is really good, and starch is not so much, it's not much of a feature. But the one thing that for me, and this is a conversation for another episode that we're going to be doing, has also been for me getting rid of some of the things that I am very well notorious for. The imbibation of ethanol.
Do you know what they're called? It's called liquid calories.
Liquid calories.
Liquid calories, and we don't count those enough.
We don't. Yeah, we don't. And so the clarity of mind as well, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, it is.
If I have been drinking, waking up in the morning, like the energy is low the following morning. I mean, I'm 53. If on Saturday and on Sunday, and I've been drinking and so on. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, still energy is low. My hangovers now last 3-4 days, and so for me, just saying no to the wine has also helped me immensely when it comes to the health journey.
And how are you feeling? Are you missing it? Are there moments of like, I could have a beer right now?
You know, my thing, 2024, 7 to 8 months of the year, I wasn't drinking in any case.
Right.
You will know this, right? 2023, same thing, because it's an ego trip for me. It's like wanting to prove that I can go without it. Yeah, you know, I can just go cold turkey. So it's not a difficult thing for me to quit. It's about the consistency, obviously. But we'll talk about it at length. We'll have an entire
show
entire show about that. Yeah.
Okay, because yes, alcohol in and of itself, we could do an entire series of podcasts around alcohol consumption around South Africa in particular. But that will be for the next show. Okay, for now, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Still Uncaptured. So I have a question for you. There's something called secrets. Makunutu. What do you call it in Zulu?
Imfihlo.
Imfihlo.
It's fuba. The euphemism okusesifubeni.
It's fuba or imfihlo.
Yes.
I believe that we all have secrets.
You only believe? Why do you need to qualify that? Everybody got a secret, guys.
Right? Just as everybody has a dream, everybody got a secret.
Everyone. And I challenge anyone to say that they do not have a secret. No, everyone's got a secret.
Nobody's walking around like a total open book, completely telling you all the things that they've ever done wrong.
In fact, the thing about it is, I think it also is part of the definition of being a human being. There is such a thing in psychology, not just ego as in, being egotistical, but in psychology, there's something called the ego, which is basically that inner self that there are things you don't share with anyone.
Right.
They are yours.
Right.
And a lot of them, you will take them to the grave. And then people like you and I, we overshare, hey? I feel like sometimes we overshare.
But anyway. Me in particular, on air. Even you sometimes will be like, wow. So much. And part of why I do it, excuse me, part of why I overshare is that it's something that I learned during my years working for Oprah magazine, okay, and watching the Oprah show, is that there is something releasing, iyakukhulula, ukukhipha imfihlo. Secrets can fester.
Yes.
They can get down inside. They can grow into something bigger than what they should be. Secrets can make you sick.
No, they absolutely can. They are like poison that you have not regurgitated.
Right.
It's like sometimes palaze, man.
Yeah. Ukhiphe konke.
And she's like, be damned.
Right.
Everyone can see I ate beetroot now.
Right.
Yeah.
But I want to know from you, are you a good secret keeper? Because secrets, we have our own secrets, right?
Yes.
And then you have people who confide in you.
Yes.
Who tell you their secrets.
Yes.
Are you good at keeping up secrets? Or is it like there's a trend on TikTok. I'll ask for us to play a clip where somebody is like, Ndumiso, can I tell you something? And you promise you won't tell anybody. She's like, I promise I won't tell anybody. And then, and Ndumiso just runs. And it says something like, married men, after they've been told a secret, going to tell their wives. There's something called pillow talk.
Yes.
Right? You and you must. I know this.
Listen.
You must share a lot.
Listen. So here's the thing. As a general rule, I like to believe that I'm very good at keeping secrets. And I'm going to be even more honest. Particularly if the secrets are probably going to come back and harm me. Right?
Well, then you've got self-interest.
It's much easier. But also, it also depends on what the secret is, right? Because truly speaking, I would hate for me to tell people certain things and for them to also go out and share. But that's obvious. That's a very obvious. That's a very obvious thing.
Especially. See, there's this thing.
Yeah.
There's a qualification.
Yes.
When somebody says to you, please don't tell a soul.
Right.
When you qualify, there's also secrets.
Yeah.
And then there's those who are like, Ndumiso ngiyacela, please don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. When someone says that, absolutely, I find that I really always remember that. But I will say this: don't tell me a secret when I am on beer number 8, because the next time I'm on beer number 8, guess what happens? I'll be like, Kgomotso, I really really shouldn't be telling you this.
You gotta promise me. Swear.
Pinky swear. Don't tell me. Because I think that most of us, we all have that one person that we share these things with. And you're absolutely right. Being a married man, there are things that I will share, right? And I will share with you or even friends of mine, right? So Umaswazi will tell me, my friend, my best friend Umaswazi will tell me something. He's like, hey, yeah, no. And then he'll look at me and he's like, yeah, I know you're going to tell Kgomotso.
At least he's resigned.
and when he was married, I'd say, yeah, you told her, didn't she?
Right.
And he's like, yeah,
I had to.
But even
what is the compulsion to tell? Because that's a whole other beast on its own.
You know, there's something about the pillow when you are married, in particular, and because you've been married, where it's like that sanctuary. It literally is like it's that one space where you can truly, for me at least, be totally myself. And this is the one person I have chosen out of all the people in the world to be completely vulnerable to. Where I also know that the things that I tell her, I know are safe within this.
Right.
Oh, particularly the woman that I'm married to, because you know that in this marriage, you know how it is that the stereotype is that for every 10,000 words that a man says, a woman says 30,000. With me, it's the other way around. This is a woman who really hardly ever says anything. And also what makes it so safe with her is my wife doesn't really have friends. She's not a friends people. How many friends of hers have you met in your life? Think about it.
I have, actually.
Yeah. So it's for me, it's a very safe space.
Okay, here's a spanner in the works.
Yeah.
I think why sometimes we tell secrets is because of power.
Ooh, that's an interesting proposition.
I'll give you an example.
Okay,
all right.
cool.
Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, was visiting the United States of America. Okay. On his way out.
Okay. I think I remember
when he's leaving, he's like, listen, Donald, bona man. Candace Owens,
Yeah.
And she's doing these YouTube videos saying that my wife is a man or my wife was born a man.
But to Candace.
Candace is like a dog with a bone.
Yes,
she will not let it go.
Yeah.
So, Macron, do you think, Emmanuel, why am I in Rosebank Mall, South Africa, talking about what Emmanuel Macron whispered to Donald Trump? Because Donald called Candace immediately. Candace, Emmanuel says. And then what does Candace do? YouTube. Hello, you won't believe what happened. Emmanuel Macron. Do you think, I think it's about power.
Yeah.
I think Donald said, don't worry, I got it. Oh, Emmanuel, no worry.
Yeah.
You don't worry, pa. Okay? And then, like Candice, to show that power. Like, I get Candice was like a Fox pundit and was very much supportive of Trump and voted for him both times. Do you understand?
MAGA,
Isn't that a bit of a power play?
You know what? Now that you mention it, my brain is busy ticking over and I'm thinking about another politician. And I promise you, it's got nothing to do with the fact that you talked about Trump, because I don't really make any connection between the two. However, there is a former president who for decades now has been saying, one day I will talk. Ubaba Msholozi has been promising us the Jews for how long? Baba, Nkosi yami, hawu, olethu mshiya wami. He has been saying for how long?
Simamele.
Ati one day. He's been one day when I sit, and you're like, we're counting the years. We're like, I'm not predicting when his demise is going to be. But when is he? So it speaks to what you're talking about, because it's a form of power. And I actually do believe that he does have
something to say. Oh, yes.
Because there is a certain caution that are they still the governing party? the biggest party in the coalition,
Right.
the ANC. There's a certain kid glove treatment that they give him because he knows where the bodies are buried.
Is he still not a member of the African National Congress?
Of course he's.
There we go.
I mean, well, according to him, he still is.
As far as he's concerned.
As far as he's concerned. And so I think I agree with you that there is. And hey, labo baba laba. Yo, these geriatrics, the geezers, whether it's Matthew Sposa or Tokyo, but hey, they are talking now.
You know also that sometimes we get the opportunity to mingle with politicians.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And they certainly have some of the past gossip.
No, they do.
Right?
No, they will.
And I don't know if they're telling you at the time because you are media and they're playing you. I'm always conscious, Hore, am I being played? Why is this person giving me, Kgomotso Matsunyane, of all people, this particular information? So that's where I think some of the power play comes in. But personally, I had a situation where somebody talked smack about me. And then the person she talked smack about me to, came to tell me. Do you want to know if people are talking badly about you as in like that's the secret?
As usual with me, you know that my answer is going to be a bit complex. Because on the one hand, I always, when someone tells me something that bad is said about me, number one, when someone tells you something like really horrific about you, how does it make you feel?
Terrible.
Horrible. So when people come to me and they tell me horrible things that apparently are being said by me, I cannot help. But it's not the first thought that comes. But after a while, I'm like, so why did you tell me this?
What's in it for you?
You told me this in order for me to feel how. And also, number two is, if I had gone to the grave and I didn't know this, how would my life have changed?
It would not have been.
It
might have actually been enhanced.
There is a friend of mine who came and told me something, and I'm grateful for her because it was something so horrific. It was something so harmful to my reputation that was spread around me that I actually hadn't done. And someone was taking advantage of the fact, again, we started this conversation talking about the waters of immortality, or as I call it, the amber-colored nectar of the gods.
In the officando.
I wasn't particularly sober, but someone then said in that state, I had done something so horrific that it would be against myself to actually repeat it, because then I'd be spreading that same rumor. And I was so grateful to them for telling me, because then I said to her, and she said, don't tell. And I said, can I be honest with you? I am actually going to confront these people. No. And she was mortified, but why would you? And I'm like, no, but I have to address it because it is that serious. And after
Did you feel like it was detrimental to your career?
Not only my reputation, just my career as a human being.
Oh, your reputation.
It was, my reputation was like so much on the line, and if I had allowed it, to go on. So I went around, and the people that were busy telling this story, and I said, I am aware that you are busy telling this story, but what's worse is that you know for a fact that it's a lie. And so I'm ambivalent about those things, because half of the time, you know what my father used to say when people came and told him what someone had said? Emmanuel Bafanya Ngcobo, he'd go, oh, Kgomotso, Batini. Oh, bathini basebe wena wasuthini wena. You know, my father,
what did you say?
Was very
when my name was being spoken in vain.
What was your response?
Did you defend me?
Did you
say
Kgomotso
Matsunyane would never do that, or did you say tell me more?
Yes.
So I don't know. I'm torn because I did confront the person.
Yes.
And they denied it.
Of course they will.
They denied it.
They normally do. Yeah.
But I know that they said it.
But there is one thing, and I want to remind you of this because it is on film. And I remember, one of our previous conversations, we were having a conversation with Tessa Dooms. Oh, please go seek out that episode. Brilliant, brilliant episode, right? We were talking, and you sat there, and I remember I was sitting over there, and you just blurted it out. No, yeah, as someone who basically is on antidepressants, and I remember going, most people wouldn't say things like that. And then when I asked you afterwards, I was like, why do you do that? And you share certain things that a lot of people, because there's a lot of stigma around these things, particularly for people in our space, and for particularly
because what's
women.
the comments now? It's like, oh, no wonder. Go take your antidepressants.
I loved your response, and I do not want to fuck it up. Why do you do it?
A couple of reasons. I started saying it a bit earlier. It's about the release because secrets fester and all of that kind of stuff.
Yes.
But secondly, I discovered that I am not alone. When you say, I'm Kgomotso Matsunyane and I have this problem, you open up the world of opportunities for other people to declare themselves sane. Like, oh, so if it can happen to Kgomotso, then it can happen to me. And that is why I say it freely, sometimes to my detriment, where it's like, okay, a little bit of overshare. But I will tell you this, however much I overshare and all this stuff, there's a lot I keep. Trust me. I am extremely measured. And that's that.
Yeah. No. We all are. Because, I think that the what you were describing for yourself is obviously catharsis.
Right.
So when you just share things about yourself, because there's a lot of things I have shared about myself that people have said,
you speak really honestly about alcoholism and how much you drink.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I speak.
You write about it?
I write about
Up
it.
to a point where I even said to you,
I remember.
Like, do you want to be that guy?
That guy.
Forever. Like, you keep telling us about your likeness for this liquor.
Yes.
But do you really want it to be like such a thing that you carry it with you all the time? Can you not mention it all the time?
Yes. Because for me, just like you know what you're talking about? About the fact that it's not only catharsis for yourself, but also that you free other people. The number of people who have, as a result of me sharing openly my struggles with alcohol and coming to me on the side to say, oh, my polo.
I'm struggling as well.
My polo.
Yeah.
It's bad. Do you remember we even made a joke about it a couple of years ago? I mean, it was funny at the time when, rest her soul, Zahara came out and said, alcohol has become so bad now. And then I was like, how bad is it? I'm like finishing a whole bottle of wine a day. And I'm like, girl, come on. Come on.
Zahara, come on. Or do you remember when, who's the guy who was with Abashante or whatever? Zombo.
Yeah.
Zombo.
Yeah.
And he came out and said, like, I'm an addict. I'm going to rehab. And they said, what's your addiction? And he said, marijuana. And we laughed.
Yes.
Not cool to laugh because some people, he might have had, we suspected though that it was a little deeper than that. Here's the thing I will tell you about secrets and how I think friends should handle it. I will give the award for best friend for simply this. Mm-hmm. You took everything that was being talked about me and you were listening to it.
Yes.
You sat me down in my living room in Cape Town and you said, my friend, we have to talk.
Yeah.
And you said, you have an anger problem.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that conversation.
I will never forget that combination
because was it 2012?
It was liberating. It was before the afternoon drive.
Yes. I think it was around 2013, 20.
You just said like I just have, and we had about a 2-hour conversation where you said, and the best thing that you said, we talked about a lot. It was 2 hours, but the best thing that you said and that I left with was you said the worst part, Kgomotso, is that you're usually right.
Yeah.
But your message gets lost because you say it in such a way that turns everybody off. Do you know how much I learned? Thank you, first of all, for trusting me to know that I don't know how you knew, but that I would accept it. I took it. And from that day, I started working on my anger. In therapy, worked on my anger. I'm still working on my anger because it doesn't disappear like that.
Yeah.
But it's something that made me incredibly conscious that, people are talking. My anger is such that people are talking about it. Ooh, no, that's not cool.
The thing about gossip and sharing gossip as well, and this is so important, is that trust.
Yeah.
You know, when someone shares a secret, particularly about yourself, that level of trust. Because there wasn't a sense of trepidation. Because you know how I am. You know how you and I. If you had turned around and turned of me, I was going to say, sack. And this is exactly why people think of you. So
Right.
there was trust. I knew that if I told you, and it was so important how I told you.
The approach was incredible. You were
yes.
incredibly gentle with me.
Yeah.
And you just chose the right moment. And I knew you were scared shitless.
No, it's the first thing I said when I was like, sometimes your anger, even I am afraid of you.
Yes, I'm doing yes, of course. Like, guys, I don't know how short I am. Like, but if you meet me, the first thing people say is that, oh my God, you are so short because I'm tiny. Television and video screens make me look like a giant. And then, of course, I talk like this. So everybody thinks I'm huge, right? So, but I'm not. I'm tiny. So the fact that my anger made people who were 6 foot tall afraid of me, my bosses, big men, big men, terrified of me.
I remember when we were at Kai FM, and sometimes poor salespeople had fucked up and forgotten to tell us about something we're supposed to execute on air, and they would find me in some corner. Mapalo, can I please talk to you?
They would never come to me.
And then I'd be like, no, don't worry. Let's go. Let's see. As soon as you start, I'd look at you. I'm like, we gotta do this. We gotta do it.
And it would happen. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to Still Uncaptured. So I want to take a little detour. What have you been watching on the downstreaming networks?
The last thing I watched, I haven't showed you right now. Fit for TV. Fit for TV, the story of that other show.
The making of The Biggest Loser.
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Of The Biggest Loser, which is something that just in case someone was under a rock.
An American TV show where contestants went, and the one who lost the most amount of weight during that period, the filming period, becomes the biggest loser and wins like tons of money. Like $250,000 was the first. I know towards the end, I'm sure nearly $1 million.
Yeah, and I remember like watching it, and one of the conceptualizer of it, the producer who came up with it, was talking about how he was just walking out of a gym and he saw a sign that basically says, "I will pay a lot of money, to someone, to a trainer who can actually make me lose weight," and then the idea was born. Right? Okay.
Exactly. So now it goes into the methods that were used. Yeah. All right? Like radical diet change, 5 to 8 hours of exercise per day from people who've been pretty much 100% sedentary. Yes. The result, incredible. Oh my goodness. People lost like people.
People lost 3 human beings.
Yes.
In one show.
And
typically, how long would the season be?
About 6 months or so.
6 months, yeah. And people would lose something like 300, almost 300 pounds.
Some of them,
like, and you would think.
You would like, how?
How?
Yeah. Right. Well, they tell you how.
What stood out the most for you? I'm particularly interested in some of the methods.
Okay, so for me, like what stood out the most was that, spoiler alert, but at the end, where the majority of the people who participated in The Biggest Loser ended up gaining the weight back. That stood out for me. I'm like, because you go home, you're not going to exercise for 8 hours a day. I don't care who you are. And maintaining, and you're not, you don't have a chef cooking your food for you, like on set and all that kind of stuff. So that particularly stood out for me.
And so for me, the one thing about it, and not to knock The Biggest Loser, because I think that I would imagine that there are also millions upon millions of people that actually watch the show. So you cannot really trash it in its entirety.
And we're motivated somehow by the show.
People were motivated to say, if someone that used to weigh 180 kilogram could come out and they're now weighing 90, surely then I can. Regardless of whether those people, other people, actually gained the weight back. Because you and I know people who actually have lost significant amounts of weight. And I'm wondering how many people were actually motivated, inspired by The Biggest Loser. Right?
I will tell you this, it did put a spotlight on the real problem of obesity and the fact that people just don't know where to start.
Yes.
When you are that big, we're talking about morbidly obese. We got like about 20k each on to kind of lose, but it's kind of still workable.
Speak for yourself. I don't have no 20 kg to lose. Where can I lose 20 kg here? Come on, give me some credit.
My bad.
No, but I know what you.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what you mean.
Like people who can barely walk. Now here's something that's fascinating. I don't know if you've seen, but there are local versions of this.
Which
on Showmax.
Okay.
One that is currently on. There was one that happened before. I don't know if anybody lost anything. The one guy started being on TikTok. Literally, I really don't know if he lost anything.
Yeah.
And secondly, it's on now. Lose It or Lose Me.
I haven't seen
is the name of the program.
I haven't seen
and there's Sekeleke 2 featured in there. You know Sekeleke 1? Who used to eat like 3 chickens in one go.
Yeah.
And Sekeleke, he used to be there's a version of him.
Yes.
Morbidly obese. Also a dancer, musician. And they also call him Sekeleke, like lack of originality, like galore.
Yeah.
But anyway, and I doubt if there's going to be any significant change because our productions are cheap.
Of course.
They don't invest money. To do a 6-month production, do you know what it takes?
Well, you are a movie and TV producer, right? Yeah, so
we're talking millions.
Yeah,
and that's not the kind of budget that these productions have.
Because for the Biggest Loser to work required millions
to work for TV.
Yes, work for TV.
Yeah.
Because it had to be also very dramatic.
It had to be visible.
Yes.
And dramatic so that we see it. Like, wow. It was the wow factor. I remember I used to watch it.
Yeah. I didn't watch it religiously, but sometimes I would see because let's also, with all sensitivity to big people, like there is just something that will make you want to stare at someone who's like morbidly obese, right? Like we all want to see. So sometimes I'll just be looking at TV and just go, oh my God, I cannot believe how big this person is.
There's a program called TLC, My 600 Pound Life.
600 Pound Life. The people that, like people who need cranes to be... Yeah. Like walls to be broken down in order for them to be
and even those take over a year to film.
Yes, they do.
They take over a year. Ours are done within a few weeks.
Yeah.
So there's no ways that the local production is going to get it right.
Yeah.
Cheap and nasty, guys. Cheap and nasty.
And so there are two conversations to be had here. Because now there are aspects as I was watching this Fit for TV where I thought lines were crossed. Lines were crossed for the benefit of just the drama. For the purpose, let's talk about it, for ratings.
Yes.
Things were done for the purpose of rating. Let's talk a little bit about some of the things that had to be done.
Jewel, there's one character in there, Jewel, who had a moment for her that was incredibly humiliating. When one of the trainers, and the one who never loses his cool, really goes at her. Just do it, Joel. Shouts at her.
Yeah.
And it's cringy, and some of the people are laughing, and she still hasn't recovered.
Yes.
She says, for it to be sold live on TV was not something that she recovered from. And she had gone with a friend, because at some point it was like 2 people coming to do The Biggest Loser. And I don't think her friendship with her friends survived.
Because a lot of the methods that were actually being used are some of the methods that are used in the U.S. armies and the Marines and so on, where it's like
boot camp.
Boot camp. It's like this is like a life and death situation.
Yeah.
And for a lot of them, honestly speaking, it really was, for some people, a life and death situation where if you don't lose this weight, you're just going to die.
Yeah.
You will die.
No, you're literally on your way to death.
But then there were also underhanded methods.
There were underhanded methods, allegedly, where the contestants were fed supplements, particularly caffeine, which is known to kind of like increase your metabolism, but for the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Because then there's cardiovascular issues that come with.
Exactly right.
Which is why I don't drink these energy drinks.
Yeah.
I mean, if I take I won't mention any any brands or anything, but these things, if I take half a can, my heart, just because of the caffeine. But here's my question to you: is if you had to say The Biggest Loser, having watched Fit for TV,
right?
You are an executive in a studio. And you have seen the numbers your marketing people have gone and whatever. Would you
Absolutely.
The Biggest Loser?
Absolutely, I would greenlight
You
it.
would, yeah.
Bearing in mind, with a caveat, that the things that they learned, as the executive producer said, should we have done more of this? Should we have done more of that? Like emotional and psychological support should have been something that was prioritized, and it wasn't. And should they have used, most importantly, the biggest mistake is that the millions, if not the billions, in fact, they probably made billions, billions that they made from marketing, from royalty fees and all that kind of stuff, they could have taken a little bit of money, put it aside for a maintenance program for the people who have participated in The Biggest Loser. That's what the biggest problem for all the participants who gained the weight back was.
Because you and I started this particular episode talking about our own journey of trying to lose weight. A time when you looked absolutely great because you were running all the time.
Yep.
You have seen me when we started the first Uncaptured in 2017. I was fit.
Yep.
I was like 72 kg, and I was on my Trojan. I was walking every single day, and I had actually lost a good 17 kilogram, which is a lot of weight.
Right. Yes, it is.
It's a lot of weight for someone my size to actually lose. And so over the years, I've kind of gained back about 8-9.
Right.
So maintenance is everything. And we understand, you and I understand that what we are doing right now with our own little weight loss and health journey, it's really just about maintaining a lifestyle.
Yes.
It's the only way it works.
Health is wealth. You know that. We know that, right?
We know that. And also another thing that, hardly people ever talk about when it comes to how we judge people. Because like how comedians are like always like trying to make fun of my 600-pound life and so on, and The Biggest Loser, and say, nah, just put the burgers down. Just put the burger.
Right.
Not everyone can put the burger down.
Right.
A lot of it also is hormonal.
A lot of it is hormonal.
It's hormonal.
There's emotional eating, so there's a psychiatric element to it.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So anyway, we just want you to join us on this health journey because we want to be healthy South Africans, taking advantage of all the activities that are outside, because that's what people in other countries do. I was watching a TikTok video of old people in China, or no, not old people. First of all, there was there's schools for old people, universities for old people in China, which I think is such a brilliant idea, where they get taught technology, how to use a phone, cooking classes, exercise. But there's also dancing classes, public dancing classes where hundreds of people gather and it's like 7 p.m. and people dance for an hour. Yeah. We need more activities because all our activities are around drinking in South Africa.
What do people who are immigrants, particularly from developed countries, who come to South Africa. I mean, the percentage is incredible of people who come to visit South Africa and they just never leave.
Right.
And of course, I mean, Operation Tutula never touches them. So people who just come into this country, what is one of the first things that they say about what makes this country so incredible?
The weather.
The climate here is brilliant.
It really is. For outside activity, right?
Activities. Yeah. In July, on the 21st of June, which is the solstice, which is like the coldest day of the year in South Africa, you can still put on your techies and go running. That is because we don't really have such extreme climate, and we're just not using it.
Yes, so let's do it. We're all gonna get healthy together, yeah? Because we want to be a healthier nation.
Yeah, we're putting ourselves on the line, so we gotta get it right. We gotta.
You know why? Yeah? I find it holds me accountable.
I know.
Yeah. For the day that I feel like, I don't want to go, I'm like, hey, remember, you promised the listeners.
For the record, and this is nothing for us for competition, but in 2.5 weeks, I have lost 3 kg.
And it's got I'm not weighing myself.
And it's got everything to do, to be sure, with nature as well. I'm just my metabolism tends to I lose weight quite easily.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky bastard. On that note, thank you very much for joining us. Remember to join us on the socials with your comments, Twitter, Facebook. Well, I'm not on Facebook. Ndumiso's on Facebook, but I am on Instagram and TikTok as well.
Why are you lying? Of course you are on Facebook.
Oh yeah, but
you're just not as active.
No, I don't accept strangers. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll be with you again next week.